Now, the next question. 8.
When you have a second, would you be able to send me the linear systems test for Jeremy? Appreciate it. Thank you.
The expression you would use to calculate CB. There is more than one answer here. You could do the square root of 16 squared minus this answer, which was, of course, to do it properly, would have been 16 sine 32 squared. That would be acceptable. You could have done Pythagoras. You could also have done cos 32 equaled CB over 16, so CB equaled 16 cos 32. I would have accepted that for 1 mark. I also would have accepted tan 32 equaled opposite 16 sine 32 over CB, which would have been 16 sine 32 over tan 32. B, opposite over adjacent. No, 16 sine 32 is the opposite. You're over here? Okay. And, of course, if you really wanted to get crazy, you could have told me that this was 58 and then done sine, cos, or tan with 58, which is crazy. Why would you ever do that when you already have a 32? But if you did it, you would get the mark. 6 versions of the same question. I do not care which one you use as long as you used one of them. Notice I did not ask for an answer because when I ask questions like this, it shows me that you know how to do your work and you didn't just copy the answer from the kid beside you. Next question. What is the height of AC? Which is this one. Of course, if that's 45, what's this? 45, which makes this an isosceles triangle, which makes this side and this side the same. So, AC was 16 sine 32, or 8.5, or 8.47, or whatever you did. This is the answer to number 1. Whatever you wrote there is here. And the straight line distance from A to D is this one right here. And, of course, that's Pythagoras, which is the square root of 16 sine 32 squared plus 16 sine 32 squared. Square root it and get the answer, which is second squared. No, right? Answer squared plus answer squared, which is 11.99. If you did it properly, most of you are going to have 12. Yep. What's your answer, Levi? Making that page out of 4. Now, a great many people were bothered by the airplane question. Let us explore the airplane question. First, let us explore the airplane question on paper. Here is the airport. The airport lives where? On the ground. The airplane is 37 kilometers north and 81 kilometers east. If the airplane were on the ground, where would it be? right there. How would you tell how far away from the airport the plane is? It is this hypotenuse, correct? But airplanes do not drive down the street. Airplanes are where? Up in the sky, straight up from that point. The ground is flat, even though the ground is curved. Don't give me any of that horse crap. The fact that you're even kidding makes me angry. What angle is created between the ground and straight up? A 90 degree. How tall is this? 6. How long is this? It is this hypotenuse, which is the square root of 37 squared plus 81 squared. And I need then that distance, which is a new hypotenuse. I have both legs, so I can find it. And the answer is 89.1, I believe. Something like that. Now, if you cannot visualize that in 2 dimensions, you could visualize it this way. Airplane. There it is. Airport. Over on the ground. Right? But not straight over. 81 kilometers east and 37 kilometers south. The plane would have to land on that line. Okay? Okay. Now, what is the angle along the ground? Do I need the red, blue, purple, or the blue and red triangle? Blue and red triangle, because I want the angle on the ground as a direction east of north. Here is north. This is east. This is the angle I need. What is that angle? Well, that's your theta. Tan theta equals opposite 81 over 37. Shift tan, and what do you get? 65. That is 65. Now, as a direction east of north, which means I started north and I moved 65 degrees east. You have a whole page of notes on that. I will give you, oh, by the way, this is worth 2. This is worth 1. And the angle of elevation, that is, of course, the red, blue, purple line, which was tan theta equaled opposite, which was 6, over the square root of 37 squared plus 81 squared, which ends up giving you something like 3.9 or something. I can't remember exactly. I think it might be 4.01. Oh, whatever. It's 4, because we round our angles off to the nearest degree. For 1 mark. Make that whole question out of 4. Please remember, how often have I said that 90-degree triangles can rotate in any direction and still be a 90-degree triangle? Right? All right. What is the height of the tree? Right there. So, there's your x, there's your theta, there's your adjacent. Tan 32 equals x over 52. 52 tan 32 equals x. And the answer, as I'm hearing from people, is around 32.5. Again, this doesn't really concern me. This is the line you have to be comfortable with. Total distance from the bottom of the canyon, that is this triangle, which is tan 67, or is it 57? 67 equals opposite y over 52. 52 tan 67 plus 52 tan 32 if you're going to give me the best possible answer, because this is rounded. This is not. That is the best possible answer. These are worth 1 each, of course, because it is only, actually the bottom one's worth 2 because you had to remember to add. So that is the best possible answer is 52 tan 67 plus 52 tan 32 is 154.9975, which is, of course, 155. Making that page out of 7. Questions? Questions? 9! 2 trees are 100 meters apart. Nice tree. Womb, womb. What's this? 50. What's this? 50. What's this? 8 or 13. What's this? The other one. Tree X, tree Y. How much taller is one tree than the other? I need to know what X minus Y is. X is 50 tan 13 minus Y 50 tan 8. How do I know X is taller? Because 13 is a higher angle of elevation, so I had to look higher to see the top of it. That is the way you would do the work. This is out of 2, and the answer is what? 4.51 or 4.52 if you're going to go to 2 decimal places. Oh, it says the nearest centimeter, so you did need to go to 2 decimal places, which is 4.52. Take off a half mark if you did not read. What? Really? You're going to think about asking that question again, right? Uh-huh. Because a kid in Honors Math 10 should not have to wonder about how you know how many centimeters are in a meter. This question is drawn perfectly on the back by Hazel. I don't need to spend a lot of time with it. But I will talk about how you can work it out. So, Fernie Island is north of Roberts Point. 1750, just like it says in the question. A sailboat leaves Roberts Point and sails to Coal Island. Then it sails to Fernie Island and then home. 16 degrees. Straight north is what? Straight north is what? 0. So there is the 16 degrees. I want to know how far the boat traveled. So I have a theta of 16 and I have an adjacent of 1750. I need what? The hypotenuse, which we're going to call x, and the opposite, which we're going to call y. And my final answer is 1750 plus x plus y. Right? So, first one I'm going to do is x. That's a and h. Cos 16 equals a 1750 over h x. X equals 1750 over cos 16. Should I do that in my calculator now if I want the best answer possible? No. Then I do tan 16 equals opposite y over adjacent 1750. So y equals 1750 tan 16. If I want the best possible answer, should I do that now? No. Then I go to what I need to do, which is 1750 plus 1750 over cos 16 plus 1750 tan 16. Now on a forward calculator, it's really easy. You punch it in as you see it. On a backwards calculator, it's a little more difficult. But by now you should have realized that the only real difference between a backwards and a forwards calculator is you do 16 tan instead of tan 16. So you're going to punch all that in, and you are going to get 4,072.3. And that's out of 3 marks. Because you had to interpret the map and then do your trig. Any questions about it? Excellent. Now, the next question is more difficult. And the next question, I want to zoom in on this map. Now, the next question, if I am not mistaken, asks for you to go from Armstrong Point, you sailed off to Kingfisher Point, then you sailed to Curtis Point. And I believe this is 800, yes? Right? Okay. And it says you leave on a bearing of 307, right? What's north? 0. Right here. 0. When we are counting directions, do we count clockwise or uncle-clockwise? No. Clockwise for directions. So I go all the way around. This is 307. If I were to go all the way around, I would be facing back where I started from. I played enough Shaun White snowboarding 1080 to know that that is 360 degrees. I went 307. So what is left? 53. Now I have a theta of 53, an adjacent of 800. I need an hypotenuse, which I will call x, and I need an opposite, which I will call y. And of course, my final answer is 800 plus x plus y. Right? Now I will unzoom to do the work. Theta equals 53. Adjacent equals 800. Opposite equals x. And hypotenuse equals y. And then I do my work. Cos 53, 800 over y. Y equals 800 over cos 53. Sine, not sine, you idiot. Tan 53 equals x over 800. X equals 800 tan 53. And your answer is, of course, 800 plus 800 over cos 53 plus 800 tan 53, which is something around 3,000, I believe. That's not a number. That's 4 digits. That's better. 3,190.9. Also for 3 marks. Making that page out of 6 and 2 is 8. Now, as I warned you, or as I reminded you, if you get stuck on a question, you should just carry on, correct?
Correct.
Because this question is the airplane question, isn't it? It's the exact same question as the airplane question. You use a triangle on the ground to measure a triangle in the sky. I need to know 2, 3. I need to know that. There's the purple triangle, which I have a theta of 43, but I do not have enough information because I cannot measure across the river, nor can I measure here. So I must use the orange triangle, which has a theta of 69 degrees and an adjacent of 30. What do I need? The opposite. That is x. So that is 10, 30, 10, 69, which means in my purple triangle, my adjacent is, my opposite is what I seek. And what is your answer? To the nearest meter? He waited patiently. 73. Let's go! Nice job, Jessica.
Thank you.
Out of 2, because the triangle was drawn for you. Oh, wait, I want to use 2 different colors. How far is this? 9.8. What's this? What is blue theta? 58, right? The question says find this distance. So, if I use blue 58 to find the whole tower and orange 37 to find this part, what will I do at the end? Subtract them. So, blue 58, theta equals 58, adjacent equals 9.8, opposite equals x. Orange, theta equals 37, adjacent equals 9.8, opposite equals y. And my final answer is, of course, x minus y. So, 9.8 tan 58. and 9.8 tan 37. Subtract them, and you get your answer, which is what? How far from the top of the tower is the guy wire attached to the tower? And it is 8.3. For 3 marks, because you had to draw the triangle that time. Oh, it does say how tall is the tower. Sorry, you need that too, which is the blue one.
15.7.
Which is 15.7. Yo. Number 9 was out of 2 because the triangles were drawn for you. And number 11, a suspension bridge. No, I lie. Most of the bridges around here are suspension bridges. There's a bridge, there are 2 towers, and there are wires. The only bridge around here that isn't is the Patella Bridge and the bridge to Mission. What? Hold up. I'm going to wait till everyone be's quiet. Is quiet, because that's a good question. I know it's not going to happen. But I'm doing that thing that they tell us to do in teacher school. I like to prove that those people don't know anything that they're talking about. Sebastian asked, how can these be different if this is the middle of the suspension bridge? He's absolutely right. How can they be? Because these towers are moved in. Right? If these are a third of the bridge, for example, the towers are shifted. So, I know that there is 10.8. Where is the 10.8? Left or right? It doesn't really matter. But, hold up. It does matter in your ability to visualize how the world works, which is important. Where must the smaller angle be? Left or right? Left. 10.8, 18.65, yes? The towers of the bridge reach 135 meters above the level of the bridge. Where's that? Is it X? Is it Y? Or is it Z? It is Y. Shut up. 135. So now you have X and Y, right? And what are you going to do with them? You're going to add them, and then what are you going to do with that? Multiply by 2. So, X equals, theta equals 10.8, opposite equals 135, adjacent equals X. 135 divided by tan 10.8 plus 135 divided by tan 18.65 times 2. And you get your answer of what? Something like that. I know the screen's blue. I just said I know that the screen is blue. 2,215. And you could have left it like that, or you could have done 0.3 or whatever. I don't care. That was out of 4. Because A, you may not have known what a suspension bridge was, so you would have had to research it. And B, you had to remember that there has to be more than one tower. Making that page out of 4, 7, 9. 9 and 8 is 17, and 7 is 24, and 4 is 28.
Wait, what was the final answer?
2,215.
So, 28.
Then you would lose 1 mark. I would give you 3 out of 4 if you forgot to multiply by 2. Why are you saying hello in Korean? You went anyan, 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 which I believe is hello in Korean. I'm not 100% sure. Konnichiwa. What? Okay. Sebastian, of course. I will get this mark from you at a later date.
I don't know. Yes, it was. Wait, why did I get... I got a higher mark than what
All righty then.
Are you collecting?
Not today. 28. Please turn to page 76. You didn't tell her a funny story yesterday? That wasn't very nice. I tell you people funny stories all the time.
Because you were asking about the question. Sure.
All righty then. Let us begin, cabbages. X, Y. Those are 2 letters that represent positions on this coordinate grid, correct? Is that X positive or negative? Positive, because it just says X. There's no sign in front of it, so we assume it to be positive. What is that Y? Positive. Excellent. So everybody put a dot anywhere on this grid that satisfies that condition. And I should have just watched 30 people put a dot somewhere in this quadrant. It does not matter where, because I did not tell you where. Okay? Everybody understands? Now, how far is this distance? However far it is. Do you know how far it is? So what do we give it in math when we do not know? A variable, and it is indeed x, because whatever point that is, its x value is that. Agreed? Okay. What is this value? Y. Everybody cool? Excellent. Now, put another dot that satisfies these conditions. Negative x, y. Now be careful, because now you're in trouble. Some of you are going to do this wrong because you're not going to actually think about it. Go. I would be using pencil if I were you. In which quadrant must my point lie? Quadrant 2. How far to the left must I go? Yes, it does matter because I have already set this is x. And you have already set whatever your x is. Since you have already set it, this must be negative x, and it must be the same distance. So how long is this? Y. Is y positive? Of course it is, because I went up. Now, put a dot at negative x, negative y. You already have your negative x. So your negative y is where? In the third quadrant. And it is the exact same distance downwards as you just used. Yeah? And finally, the more astute members of the class will have already figured out what the last one's going to be. What is it? X and negative y. And it will be right here. Yeah? Everyone agrees? Now, if this distance and this distance and this distance and this distance and this distance are all the same, then what shape would I make if I connected them? I would make a circle, yes? Now, of course, it's not exact. Why? Because I didn't measure, but everyone's cool. Agreed? Now, observe. This is the exact center of it all, yes? Which means it's the center of that green circle, right? Which means what is that distance right there? It's a radius. Once you have a radius of a circle, what do you know about every other radius? They're all the same, aren't they? Right? Now, how would you find this radius? No? I didn't give you any angles. What would you use to find this radius? Yeah, you do. You do. What shape did I just make? What kind of triangle? A right triangle. Do I know the distance of this leg? Do I know the distance of this leg? So how will I find the radius? Pythagoras. The radius here is what? X squared plus y squared, but then I square root. So this is x squared plus y squared, square rooted, yes? Now, will this be a positive or a negative value? Positive. What will it be over here? Of course it will be positive. Why, Manroot? Oh, that's too bad. Jesse, why will it be positive here?
You have one negative and you square it.
Absolutely correct. When I square negative x, what do I get? A positive number. So this will also be x squared, y squared, positive. What will this one be? Positive. What will this one be? Positive. Radii, which is the plural of radius, are always positive. Why? Because negative leg squared equals a positive number. Yeah? All right. Now, up until right now, what have we always said is sine theta? Opposite over hypotenuse, correct? All right. Now, if I put a theta right there, what is opposite of theta right now? Y. And what is the hypotenuse in this circle? It's the radius, right? So, if sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, doesn't it also equal whatever your y value is over your r value? Good. What is cos? So what is it when we're on the coordinate grid? X over r. And what is tan? O over a, which is y over x. Agreed? All right. Great. You guys are brilliant. What's green theta? What's the sine of green theta? Y over r. What's the cos of green theta? Look closely. Negative x over r. What is the tan of green theta? Y over negative x. What is the, I don't want to use that one. I want to use, what is the sine of orange theta? Negative y over r. What is the cos of orange theta? Negative x over r. What is the tan of orange theta? Y over x. And lastly, what is purple theta? Sine? Negative y over r. Cos? X over r. Tan? Negative y over x. That tells us a whole lot of stuff, doesn't it? I'm going to shrink this page down so I can keep it all on the screen at once. What quadrant is this? Quadrant 1. What quadrant is this? Quadrant 2. What quadrant is this? Quadrant 3. What quadrant is this? Quadrant 4. Now, what did you notice? Which of these four colors is in quadrant 1? Blue. What do you notice about all the values? Positive. Sine theta, cos theta, tan theta are all positive. What is happening in green theta? Sine theta is what? Positive. What's cos theta? Negative. What's tan theta? Negative. What is happening with orange theta? Negative. Cos? Tan? And what is happening with purple theta? Negative. That sets up another thing like, SOHCAHTOA. In this quadrant, what's positive? Cos. In this quadrant, what's positive? All. In this quadrant, what's positive? Sine. In this quadrant, what's positive? Tan. Cats, cast, acts. I don't care how you remember it. You can start with C and do a word, C-A-S-T. You can start with A and do A-C-T-S. I don't care. How is this important? Well, if I tell you that a cosine is negative, is it possible that your terminal arm is here or here? No. If I tell you that a tangent is positive, where must the terminal arm be? In 1 or 3. Does everybody understand? Excellent. Let's carry along. Given the following points on a terminal arm, find the value of sine, cos, and tan. Well, what is that for? What is that for? It's an x. What is that? It's a y. So what automatically is sine, cos, and tan? One of those you know right away. What is it? Tan, because tan is y over x. 0 over 4, which is 0. Correct? Okay. Sine is y over r, and cos is x over r. Well, y is 0, x is 4. How do I find r? What is r? Square root of x squared plus y squared. R equals the square root of x squared plus y squared. What is that? What is x? 4. What is 4 squared? 16. Plus, what is y? What's 0 squared? What's 16 plus 0? What's the square root of 16? So r equals 4. 4, 4. Ease peas lemon squeezy, right? Leave a little bit of space after A. Then do B. What is the sine, cos, tan of that one? Then leave a little space. Sine, cos, tan of that one. Leave a little space. And sine, cos, tan of that one. And leave a little space. I will wait a moment whilst you work it out. What's my sine? 1. What's my cos? 0. What's my tan? Yes, it is infinite. It is undefined. Because you cannot divide by 0. What is my sine? Zero. What is my cos? -1. What is my tan? Zero. What is my sine? -1. What is my cos? 0. What is my tan? Undefined. Now, if you are somebody that does not understand what happened there, you must honestly tell me now. All right. How many people who have their hand up understand this? You understand that value y is what's opposite of the blue, right? And that value x is what's adjacent to blue. And you understand that x squared and y squared will get you the radius. Excellent. Then you do understand this, you just aren't paying attention. Sine is y over r. What is the y value here? 0. What is the radius? It is x squared plus y squared, square rooted, which is 4. 0 over 4. I have no pizza. I'm going to cut it into quarters and give you some. How much pizza are you getting? None. Because 0 divided by 4 equals 0. Cos is x over r. You all said you understood that. What's x? 4. What's r? What's 4 divided by 4? 1. Tan is y over x. Y, 0. X, 4. 0 divided by 4 is 0. Everybody cool? Great. Look at the next one. Sine is y over r. Well, r is x squared plus y squared, correct? Well, one of them's 0, so we don't even care about it. 3 squared is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So r must... Oh, I wanted to change color. What does r equal? R equals 3. So sine is y over r, which is 3 over 3. Cos is x over r, which is 0 over 3. Tangent is y over x, 3 divided by 0, which cannot happen. Everybody cool now, all those hands that went up? What's this one? Well, there's x, there's y. R equals the square root of x squared plus y squared, which is -5 squared plus 0 squared, which is the square root of 25, which is 5. So sine is y, 0 over r, 5. 0 divided by 5 is 0. Cos is x, -5 divided by 5. -5 divided by 5 is -1. Is everybody good? All right. So now you are ready to go on to actually use this. Given a point on the terminal arm of angle theta, find the 3 trig ratios, and I'm going to highlight the word exactly because we're going to talk about what that is in a second. First thing we need to do is draw this thing. Soon as you see x's and y's, what must you have? You got to draw the grid. Where is that point on this grid? It is in quadrant 2 because I go this way 4 and up 11, correct? That makes my terminal arm. Everybody agree? Okay. Now that creates 2 triangles. This is what we did in the first day. It creates the actual theta and it creates a reference angle. Yes? Which of those 2 can I work with right now? The reference angle, because I only know how to do trig with 90-degree triangles, right? Okay, so that means I got to work over here. How far is this? 11. How far is this? No. -4. Now, do I know two sides of the triangle? When I know two sides of any right angle triangle, do I automatically know the third side? Yes, because the radius of that circle is the hypotenuse. And how do I find a hypotenuse? That is always the square root of what? X squared plus y squared. What is x squared? -4 squared plus what is y? 11 squared. What is -4 squared? What is 11 squared? 121. Right! Square root of 16 plus 121, which is the square root of 137. Now, if I hit square root 137 on my calculator, what do I get? Crap ton of decimals. I want an exact answer. Is 1 second, give me a sec. 11.5785 forever an exact answer? No. Is the square root of 137 an exact answer? Yes. So this equals my r. Correct? Now I already know that sine equals y over r. I already know that cos equals x over r. And I already know that tan equals y over x. So now, just like SOHCAHTOA, fill it in. What's y? 11. What's r? Root 137. What's x? -4. What's r? Root 137. What's y? 11. What's r? X? -4. There are my trig ratios. Everybody cool? Does that make sense? Sine is positive. We're in the second quadrant. Sine's supposed to be positive there. We're good. Everybody okay? Now, without doing it, think in your head. Tell me what you would do to find the value of theta. Do not do it. Just think what you would do to do it. Because we're about to do that question. I just want the seeds planted in your head for what you would do. Take a moment. Think about it. Okay, now, I haven't given you a course of action, but all of you should have been able to figure out something you could do. Let's now do that question. Soon as I see that, what do I need? I need the coordinates. I think at the speed of light, so that's pretty fast. That's how fast you all think, too. Because your brain is just electrical impulses, and those electrical impulses move at the speed of light. Where does point P live? Quadrant 4. Because I've gone out to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've gone down 1, 2, 3. There is point P. At 4, -3. Agreed? Can't do any trig yet. Now can I do trig? Yes. How far is this? 4. How far is this? 3. How far is this? I've done this on purpose because you know this one, you've memorized it. It's 5. But let's pretend you haven't memorized it. What is this really? Square root of what? 3 squared plus 4 squared. Negative 3 squared is the same as 3 squared, which is, of course, 5. Yes? All right. So now I want to know the value of theta. Where is theta? Is it there or is it there? Is it x or y? X is theta, right? But when I do this work, I am working with this reference angle, aren't I? So let's do so. How will you tell me what that reference angle is? What options do you have? You have shift sine, shift cos, or shift tan. Now, which one did you have without doing any extra work? You had this one, didn't you? So we can forget about them. Shift tan is what? Tan is what? Which in coordinates is y over x, which is negative 3 over 4. So shift tan is that. Now, when we go to our calculator, what happens? Shift tan negative 3 divided by 4. Weird. Theta is negative 37 degrees. That seems odd. Or is it? I start counting here, yes? Clockwise was negative. So this must be 37 degrees. That's my reference angle. Is that what I want? What do I want? I want this. And again, I've played enough Shaun White Snowboarding 1080 to know that all the way around is what? 360. But I have stopped 37 degrees short. So what is theta? 323. Now, knowing what you know from number 3, go back and see if you had a similar idea in 4. Hopefully, you all recognized, or in 2, hopefully you all recognized that you had what you needed to get R. Right? And if you know that, you know this is 180 minus R. Yeah, yeah? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, we already have SOHCAHTOA in our head, and now we've got y over r, x over r, and y over x. They're the same thing. Please go to number 70, page 78. And attempt it. Number 4. What? No. You can do number 4 and then you can go to the washroom. And then, once again, because I am sick and tired of it, we are actually going to come back to our leavings of the room. But I'm going to drop it to once a week. So plan wisely. I don't care. Sometimes I speed on the highway and don't get a ticket. Sometimes I speed on the highway and do get a ticket. A better question is, maybe I should shut up because I can see that Mr. Myers is approximately 7/8 of the way to furious. There you go. Do what I asked you to do. What do I know about tan now that I didn't know 25 minutes ago?
That it's going to be
No. It tells you where it is. I've told you it's in quadrant 2. What do I know about tan now that I didn't know 25 minutes ago? That I just reviewed for you all 30 seconds ago. Tan is y over x. Now, since tan is in quadrant 2, one of those has to be negative. Which one? X has to be the negative. Negative 5, 9. That is what theta looks like. How do I find theta when I don't have anything for over on the side where theta is?
you have to do 5.
I have to work with what? The reference angle. And what is the reference angle? Well, I need an angle. So is it shift or regular? Shift of what? Shift tan of negative 9/5, which on your calculator you have to make one of them negative. The way we've drawn it, you're going to make it 5. And you are going to get what for a value? 61 degrees. So how big is this? 61 degrees. What then is theta? 180 minus my r, 180 minus 61, which is 119 degrees. Now, what if I changed this and this terminal arm lies in quadrant 4? Where would it be? Down here, making this what? Negative 9, and this what? Positive 5. What would be pink theta? $360 minus what? You already know this is going to be 61, so this would be $299. Everybody good? Now, you are going to use your calculator to do these, and you will notice a pattern. Go. Just punch those into your calculator and get the decimals. Write your numbers right up tight against this, because I want the white space.
How many decimals? I think you just leave it.
right track, Jessica?
Hello, Panthers. Disney Day is coming up on Tuesday, March 12th. Come to the Rotunda to test how well you know.
That's where we are stopping today.
Character game. Dress up as
We'll talk about what these mean tomorrow. It would be really nice if everybody came in with an hypothesis of what this means tomorrow. Jessica already is on the right track.
Coming up on March 13th for any
And I only know that because I can hear her talking to Brant.
grades 9 through 12. It is first
No homework tonight.
to get your permission forms in